But there's another aspect of fear that I don't think we really covered before. And as I was getting the intel for this episode and the ideas hitting me, I was just like, it's an angle we never attack. So let's go like this. So watch this. The meme for the day reads, "What if what scared you came to life today?" The inspirations for this. So the first one is actually Job 3:25. It says, "What if what I fear has come upon me, what I dreaded has happened to me?" If you don't know the story of Job, you should go read it. But basically, the story was about the whole book. Job had went through it. He lost his family, he lost animals, and his wife said, "Curse God," and he didn't do it. But I think people overlook that verse because in all actuality, it makes me think of those movies like with the imaginary friends and all that crazy stuff. Where it's like, what if you was scared of the boogeyman? Just hypothetically, like it's the boogeyman. You scared somebody gonna, break into your house. What if you scared somebody's gonna break into your car? What if you scared somebody's gonna rob you? And because you feared it so much, it came to life. What if that happened? How would you handle it? You know what I mean? That's something to think about. Something to think about. So that's something we're gonna keep in mind for this episode, and something we're gonna unpack. And the guest that I'm gonna introduce in a little bit is gonna be able to help us with that. So if you struggle with like, I'm just so scared, and it's easy, to do that. But let me go and go right here real quick and jump into the next segment for the day, which is happy hour. So for today's happy hour, I want to really go more in depth about the whole fear thing, right? It's easy to be fearful in today's world. I'll give you that. You sit up and watch the news all day. You're on social media all day. You hear all these things that people saying and their interpretation of things. So, for example, like if you scared that Donald Trump is going to be the reason, we going to World War III, and now you scared to do anything because you're like, oh my God, we're going to go into World War III. You're not fighting in the war personally, so I don't even know why you tripping. But, of course, you should still be aware, right? And there's a difference between being aware, but sometimes the being so aware will bring about a fear. You know, what about, they say the thing with the recession, and they say like the food scarcity and all of these different things, all these things happen. And then it's like, what do you do? It's like, what do you do? I'm an advocate, and people say you should still be in the know, but I don't watch the news. And I've said that before on this platform, and I'll say it again. I don't watch the news because you stressing yourself out. One thing my grandma always would say, she would say, and she still probably says it, but she was like, "Yeah, I'm not fearful, I'm just nervous." I'm like, well, they're kind of synonyms, just a little bit. And she would be like, "Oh, I just watch all this stuff on the news and it just makes me so nervous." I'm like, right, you scaring yourself to death. And it's just like, when we talk about fear, usually on the podcast, we talk about it from people who are scared or fearful of taking those risks, or fearful of, what people will think about them, or, what if it doesn't work? And we may cover that a little bit today as well. But what if what you feared came to life? And it's not always the boogeyman. It's not always the big green monster. Sometimes, what if you were over here fixated on, I've heard people say, I feel like something bad's going to happen today. I feel like something bad's going to happen today. And then you brought it to life. What about those zodiac signs you study? You sit up here and go look and say, well, Aries told me I'm going to have this happen, or this is going to happen. But y'all so invested, and I said that on a zodiac episode, that y'all are so invested in those zodiac signs that if that zodiac sign for the day said, hey, Gemini, or hey, Libra, you're gonna die today, would you abide by it then? Would you listen to it then? No, you wouldn't. Y'all pick and choose. So keep that in mind moving forward. Now, that's enough of my rant for today. I have a great guest today, and somebody who has a book on conquering fear.